Spectres. Nathan Brooks built a tech empire in Silicon Valley but lost something far greater along the way. At 42, wealthy and alone, he wanders through San Francisco until a melody stops him cold. A 12-year-old boy in a shadowed alley, playing his childhood song on a battered guitar. That boy's name is Leo, bold, brilliant, and busking to survive. The connection haunts Nathan. His ex-wife Emma vanished years ago. His sister Claire said Emma didn't want him. But what if that wasn't true? When Nathan discovers old letters Emma wrote, hidden by Claire, everything changes. Leo is his son, a boy raised without a father because of a lie. Nathan tries to earn Leo's trust, one guitar lesson at a time, even giving up a billion-dollar merger to be by his side. Their bond grows through music, and when Leo hands Nathan his battered guitar whispering, "Play with me, Dad," the walls around Nathan's heart finally fall. But can Emma forgive him? Can a broken past become a new beginning? A crumpled guitar, a hidden letter, a boy searching for a father. Will this family find its way back together? Subscribe to see how love, music, and truth can rewrite everything. The hum of servers pulsed through the glass walls of Nathan Brooks's Silicon Valley office. Polished, silent, soulless. He sat behind a sleek desk, staring past spreadsheets and quarterly forecasts into nothing. 42. A tech empire under his name, Brookslink, but no one to call after 9 p.m. On the wall hung a photo of a younger Nathan, arms around his sister Claire. Emma's picture wasn't there anymore. Neither was anything warm. What was it all for? He muttered, rubbing the bridge of his nose. A knock. His assistant peeked in. "Board call in 10. Nathan nodded but didn't move. He closed the laptop slowly, like shutting a door on a part of his life that never quite opened back up. That afternoon, the car was stuck in traffic near Market Street. Nathan rolled the window down. The city buzzed. Hustlers, artists, tourists. Then, a sound. A slow, aching guitar melody danced up from a nearby alley. Nathan froze. That tune, it was his. A song he wrote at 14, barefoot on a back porch in Fresno. Only 2 people had ever heard it, Emma and Claire. He stepped out of the car without thinking, letting the door hang open. People shouted, horns honked. The music lured him like a thread pulling at his chest. In the alley, a boy sat cross-legged beside a milk crate, about 12, shaggy hair, scraped sneakers. His guitar was scratched, held together by duct tape and hope. But those fingers, moving with bold grace, played Nathan's melody. "Hey!" Nathan knelt beside him. "Where'd you learn that?" The boy didn't. The boy shrugged. "You got $1, mister?" Nathan reached for his wallet, but his hand shook. That name, Emma always loved it. "Leo, what's your mom's name?" He didn't answer, just kept strumming. A woman nearby called, "Leo, time to head back." Leo stood, slung the guitar over his shoulder like a warrior with a sword. He glanced at Nathan, half smirked. "You gonna give me $1 or not?" Nathan handed him 20. The boy grinned wide. "Thanks, man," starts laughing. "Now I can buy real strings." And then he was gone, like a breeze that left Nathan's world spinning. Back in his car, Nathan sat motionless. A memory surfaced. Emma, barefoot on that same porch, humming his tune, a hand on her belly. "If it's a boy, Leo," she had said. They'd dreamed once. But then came the IPO, the nights he didn't come home, the silence. Claire had told him Emma left without a word. She said you weren't family material, Claire insisted. She didn't want your world. But now, she lied to me. Nathan gripped the steering wheel, his knuckles white. That night, Nathan pulled out an old storage box. Inside, a faded postcard, Emma's handwriting. "Thought you'd like this chord. Leo hums it in his sleep." No date, no return address. He flipped it over. A San Francisco street corner was printed on the back. The same street where the alley sat. Nathan's pulse pounded. He grabbed his coat. At dawn, he returned to the alley. Leo wasn't there, just chalk sketches on the brick wall. A boy, a guitar, a woman with tired eyes. And under it, scribbled in blue, "Some songs never die." Nathan sat on the crate where Leo had been. The air still held a trace of the melody. And something else. Regret. As the city stirred awake, Nathan pulled out his phone and dialed a number he hadn't called in over a decade. It rang once, then again. And then her voice. "Emma. Emma, it's me. I heard the song." The morning fog still clung to the rooftops when Nathan parked near a row of weathered apartment buildings in the Mission District. He checked the postcard again. Same street, same door number, barely visible under peeling paint. He hesitated. His hand hovered at the buzzer. After all these years. Then he pressed it. A voice crackled through the intercom. Tired, wary. "Hello?" Softly. "Emma? It's Nathan." Silence. More silence. Then, click. The door unlocked. Up 3 flights, the hallway smelled of dust and cinnamon. A child's crayon drawing, 2 people under a yellow sun, was taped to the wall near her door. He stared at it for a beat longer than he should. Catch. He sat on the edge of a kitchen chair. Emma poured coffee, then sat across from him. "I saw Leo," he said. Emma flinched slightly, but said nothing. "He was playing my song, Emma." His voice cracked. "The one I wrote that summer." She nodded. "He's mine, isn't he?" Emma stared at her mug, then slowly nodded again. "Yes." "Why didn't you tell me?" Her jaw clenched. "I did." Nathan frowned. "What?" "I wrote you 3 times, after he was born, then once more when he turned 5. His eyes widened. I never got anything." Emma looked straight at him now, her tone sharpened. "Claire said you didn't want to hear from me. She said you were building your legacy. That family would only slow you down." Nathan shook his head slowly, his whole body tensing. "No. Claire told me you left. Said you didn't want to raise a kid in my world." Emma let out a bitter laugh. Well, someone was lying. He stood and walked to the window. His reflection stared back, polished, successful, hollow. "Claire? She intercepted your letters?" Emma nodded. One came back marked "Return to Sender," but the address was correct. That's when I stopped trying. "I didn't even know I had a son, Emma." She was quiet. Then, "He's a good kid, Nathan. Brave, smarter than I ever was. And yeah, talented." Nathan's voice dropped. "He reminds me of me." Emma stood and crossed the room. She picked up a sketchbook from the counter and flipped it open. She held it out. A page showed a boy and a man, one playing a guitar, the other watching. The caption read, "Don't know why, but this man felt familiar." Nathan traced the pencil lines with his eyes. "Emma, I want to know him." She folded her arms. "And what? Bring him into your billion-dollar world like a shiny object you missed collecting?" His voice rose. "No! I want to fix what I missed. I want to be his father." Silence. Emma exhaled, her eyes softening. "Then don't buy him a new life, Nathan. Show up." Nathan left the apartment an hour later. The wind had picked up. He didn't notice. His phone buzzed, an urgent message from Claire. "Call me. Something big came up about the merger." He ignored it. Instead, he opened a new message and typed, "Leo's mine. You lied. We'll talk soon. Send." As Nathan stepped onto the sidewalk, he passed a street vendor selling bracelets. One caught his eye, leather, hand-braided, rough around the edges. He bought it, slipped it onto his wrist, a reminder. Some ties don't break, they fray, but they can still be knotted back together. This time, I won't let go. The next morning, Nathan sat in his glass office, but the city view couldn't touch him. He stared at a framed photo on his desk, him and Claire at a fundraiser, both smiling like sharks. He turned it face down. Time to partner thinks you've lost your mind." Nathan didn't answer right away. He slid a manila envelope across the desk. Claire's name was scribbled across the front. She hesitated. "What is this?" "Open it." Inside were 3 letters, creased, yellowing, Emma's handwriting. Claire's eyes barely flickered, but her voice did. "That's old mail." "Shouts! You told me she left. Said she didn't want a family, that I wasn't ready." "I was protecting you," Claire snapped. "From a mistake you didn't need tying you down." Cutting in, sad. "A mistake? That's my son, Claire." Silence. Claire lowered her eyes, the veneer cracking. "He could ruin you, Nathan. The inheritance, the company. You've built something bigger than love." Nathan stood. His voice dropped. "No, I built something to avoid love." He walked out without another word, the photo still face down. On the way home, he passed a street mural, a father and child playing guitar in swirling reds and blues. He stopped, stared, sad. He's not a threat. He's the part I lost. 2 days later, Nathan returned to the alley where Leo played. This time, he wasn't in a suit, just jeans and a soft hoodie that smelled faintly of cedar and dust. Leo was there, strumming under the shadow of a fire escape, a coffee can at his feet. Nathan watched for a while before stepping forward. "You've got a good ear," he said gently. Leo looked up, wary. "You again?" Nathan nodded. "Yeah, me again." Leo narrowed his eyes. "You a talent scout or something?" Nathan chuckled. "Not even close." He pulled something from his jacket, a leather-bound notebook. "Mind if I show you something?" Leo hesitated, then nodded. Nathan flipped open the book. Inside were lyrics, handwritten, sloppy but heartfelt. "This is the first song I ever wrote," he said, "when I was about your age." Leo scanned the page. His fingers began to mimic the chords unconsciously. "It's not bad," he muttered. Nathan smiled. "I've got more. You want to learn them?" Leo blinked. "You giving me lessons?" Nathan shrugged. "We could jam, swap riffs. You teach me street style, I'll teach you old school tricks." A pause. Then Leo picked up his battered guitar, strings worn, stickers peeling, and handed it to Nathan. "All right, Mr. Hoodie, let's see what you got." Later, as the sun dipped low, they sat on the curb, 2 figures, one bond forming between chords. Nathan glanced at Leo's guitar. "Why don't you get a new one?" he asked. Leo shrugged. "This one's my mom's. She used to play. I keep it 'cause, I don't know, it still has her voice in it." Nathan swallowed. Well, because family wasn't about blood or money, it was about showing up. Even when it hurt. The next morning, Nathan sat at his kitchen counter, laptop open, fingers trembling over the keyboard. Steam curled from his untouched coffee. He had barely slept. In his inbox, nothing from Emma. Just one folder stood out. Archived. Nathan frowned. He never used that folder. It was Claire's doing. She'd managed his accounts for years. He clicked. And gasped. Oh my God. There were dozens of unread messages, subject lines like, "Please don't shut me out. I thought you said you wanted this. He's yours, Nathan, please." Attached to one, a photo. A newborn baby wrapped in a faded blue blanket. The name Leo stitched into the corner. Nathan pressed his palm to the screen. "You were trying to tell me." He drove faster than he should have, through the rising San Francisco mist, past trolley bells and street murals, until he reached a small apartment complex near Mission Street. Emma's name still buzzed by the gate buzzer. He hit it. "Yeah?" Her voice crackled through, guarded. "It's me," Nathan said, breathless. "We need to talk." A long silence. Then the door clicked open. Emma stood barefoot in the hallway, arms folded tight over a paint-stained sweatshirt. Her eyes were tired but steady. "I figured you'd come eventually," she muttered, turning toward her apartment. Nathan followed. Inside, the walls were covered in Leo's art. Sketches, music notations, a bright canvas of a city skyline with two stick figures under it. Nathan paused, staring at that one. Emma noticed. He drew that when he was 8, said he had dreams of playing guitar with his dad one day. Thought maybe he'd show up. "Emma, I never saw your letters. Claire, I know," Emma cut in, her voice sharp. "I kept writing anyway, for his sake." Nathan nodded, heart pounding. "I saw Leo play. That song he wrote, it had my childhood melody in it." Emma blinked, something cracking behind her eyes. "That was your lullaby," she whispered. "I used to hum it when I rocked him to sleep." Silence. Then Nathan stepped closer and pulled something from his jacket. A torn envelope. One of her letters, sealed, returned, then ripped open and creased by time. He held it out. This should have changed everything. Emma took it. Her hand shook, but she didn't cry. She just looked at him, tired and proud. "You were never going to pick us, not back then." Nathan exhaled, guilt burning through him. "You're right. I was too blind." He glanced at the door. "But I want to choose now. I want to know him." Emma didn't speak. She just Ali scrawled in better handwriting, with a few new notes added in the margins. "You rewrote it?" Nathan nodded, starts laughing. "Improve the chorus." Leo raised an eyebrow. "That's bold." "I learned from the best." Leo looked down, biting his lip. "My mom says you're good with numbers, bad with people." Nathan laughed again, this time with a wince. "She's not wrong." Leo tilted his head. "So, you want a jam or what?" Nathan's heart swelled. "Yeah," he said. "Yeah, I do." Later that night, back in his car, Nathan stared at his phone. Claire had called 4 times. He didn't answer. Instead, he looked at the photo he'd taken earlier. Leo, eyes bright, holding his old guitar like it was made of gold. And in the corner of the frame, Emma, arms crossed, leaning quietly against the door, watching. Not smiling, not yet, but watching. The next morning, Claire showed up at Nathan's office, and this time she didn't knock. Because her secrets were unraveling fast. And Leo was more than a boy with a guitar. He was the storm she couldn't silence. Nathan stared at the whiteboard in his Silicon Valley office. Charts, projections, merger timelines, but none of it mattered. He deleted the entire line of code he'd just written. What if he's really mine? He leaned back in his chair, exhaling hard, then pulled open the drawer beneath his desk. Inside, a yellowed piece of music paper, the melody he'd composed at 16, the one Leo had echoed in that alley. Same notes, same pauses. There was no way it was coincidence. Later that day, Nathan returned to the Mission District. Leo was there again, sitting on a milk crate, strumming his battered guitar with the focus of someone twice his age. Nathan didn't approach, he just watched, until Leo caught him. The kid didn't miss a beat. "Back for another free concert?" Leo quipped. Nathan smiled, starts laughing. "Only if I get an autograph this time." Leo shrugged, playful. $10. Nathan walked closer, pulled something from his pocket, a crumpled sheet of music and a coffee-stained napkin. "I wrote this when I was your age," he said, kneeling. "Same song. Yours matched it almost exactly." Leo studied the paper. Curious. "You serious?" Nathan nodded. Softly. "It's been stuck in my head for decades." Leo was quiet. Then he said, "My mom, she used to hum something like this. said she learned it from someone who left. That pierced Nathan's chest. He sat beside him on the curb. Leo, do you ever wonder who your dad is? Leo didn't answer, just kept strumming, but slower. Then, sad. Sometimes I think maybe I don't need to know. Other times, I wonder if he'd like my music. Nathan swallowed hard. Low. She lied. I would have been there, Emma. Emma turned to him, bitter. You left me. You chose your company over us. Nathan didn't flinch. I was wrong, he whispered. I see that now. Emma's voice cracked. You don't get to rewrite history just because you feel bad. Nathan stood. I'm not here to rewrite anything. Just to write something with him. He reached into his coat again. This time, a folder. Music lessons. With me. Private sessions. If he's open to it. Emma eyed the folder. You really think strumming together makes up for a decade? No, Nathan said. But it's a start. The first lesson was awkward. Nathan arrived with 2 guitars, his old Fender and a new, sleek acoustic. Leo glanced between them. I'll stick with mine, he said, gripping the neck of his beat-up one. Nathan nodded, respecting that. They sat on opposite ends of the music room floor. At first, silence. Then Leo started playing a blues riff. Nathan joined, hesitantly at first, then stronger. They played for 20 minutes without a word. When they finished, Leo grinned. Excited. That was sick. Nathan laughed, heart swelling. Yeah, it really was. Over the next few weeks, lessons became regular. They talked chords, tempo, and slowly, life. Nathan learned that Leo loved jazz, that he hated eggs, that he had nightmares about Emma getting sick and never waking up. Leo learned that Nathan once performed at a county fair and tripped on stage, that he composed lullabies during coding marathons, that he'd kept a paper napkin for 25 years because Emma once wrote, "You're enough," on it. They didn't talk about DNA tests, didn't need to, yet. But the bond was building, song by song, until one morning, Claire burst into Nathan's office unannounced. Nathan, we need to talk, she snapped. He looked up, unsurprised. About? That child. Nathan stood. He has a name. Claire stepped closer. You're risking everything. You think investors will celebrate your long-lost Allie's son? Nathan's voice was cold. I'm not building legacy for investors. Claire paused, caught off guard. Nathan walked to his desk and handed her a legal document. Effective today, I'm pausing the Jupiter merger. Her eyes widened. You're walking away from a billion-dollar deal? I'm walking toward my son. Claire's face twisted. You don't even know he's yours! Nathan stepped close. No, but I feel it. And I'll prove it if I have to. He nodded toward the door. Please leave. Claire stared at him, then turned and stormed out, slamming the door behind her. Nathan stood alone, but lighter than he'd felt in years. That weekend, Nathan arrived, peeking inside. What is it? Emma didn't answer at first. Then she pulled out one envelope, yellowed, bent at the edges. Leo's name was scrawled across it. She handed it to him. I wrote these when you were little, she said softly. I mailed them to Nathan every birthday. Nathan reached into the box, lifting a handful. There were over a dozen, unopened, each one bearing his name in Emma's unmistakable script. Claire told me you stopped writing, he said, voice cracking. She said you didn't want me involved. Emma's lips tightened. And she told me you never wanted a child. Leo looked between them, eyes wide. You guys were trying to talk? Emma nodded. I wanted him in your life, Leo. Nathan stood, pacing now. She lied to both of us, for years. He stopped at the window. And I believed her. That night, Nathan sat alone at his kitchen island, the letters spread out like artifacts from a past he never got to live. One envelope was sealed tighter than the rest, heavy, with Leo's name. Inside, a drawing, a stick-figure boy holding a guitar, next to a man labeled, "My Dad?" Nathan pressed the paper to his chest. His phone buzzed. A message from Emma. "Leo wants another lesson tomorrow. He's got something to show you." The next afternoon, Leo met him in the alley, but this time, not to play. He was holding a folder. "Music I wrote last night," he said proudly. "I think it's good." Nathan opened it. Notes, bars, a full melody, a little messy but deeply original. "You wrote this from scratch?" he asked. Leo grinned. "Yeah, thought we could play it together." Nathan looked up. "Leo, this is incredible." Leo shrugged, but his eyes sparkled. Then he grew quiet. "Is it weird? I want you to like it." Nathan crouched to meet his gaze. "No," he said gently, "because I want to deserve that." Leo handed him the second sheet, a duet arrangement. Nathan paused. "You want this to be ours?" Leo nodded. "I mean, if you are my—" "I want it to be ours, no matter what," Nathan said. They bumped fists and played. Later, Nathan stopped by Emma's apartment. She opened the door, wary. He handed her a new envelope. "Read it later." She tucked it into her pocket without asking. They sat on the couch, the silence warm but unsure. "I should have pushed back then," he said. "Should have called, should have shown up." Emma sighed. "We both should have." She glanced at Leo's guitar in the corner. "He talks about you now, a lot, like it's normal." Nathan smiled faintly. "I'm trying to earn that." Then Emma looked down. "There's something else you should know." She walked to the kitchen drawer, pulling out a sealed legal envelope. Claire's name was printed in the corner. "What's that?" Emma placed it in his hand. "A contract. Claire had me sign." Company. Nathan ripped the envelope open. Inside, a letter. Claire's handwriting. Cold, strategic. "Emma is not to contact Nathan. Any violation will terminate support. Child's paternity remains undisclosed." Nathan's hands trembled. "She's done." Emma folded her arms. "And what are you going to do?" He looked up. "Fix it, publicly, officially." The next morning, Nathan stood at his office window. He stared out at the city, then turned to his assistant. "Cancel the quarterly summit and prep a press statement." "About?" He held up Leo's music sheet. "My son." That evening, Leo opened another letter from the old box. Inside, a tiny bracelet, made from thread and buttons. Emma's note read, "Your hands will build your future. I just hope he gets to see it too." Leo looked out the window and for the first time in his life whispered, "Maybe he finally will." The press release hit the wires just after noon. Tech CEO Nathan Brooks acknowledges 12-year-old son, Leo. Nathan stood in the hallway outside his conference room, phone in hand, headlines multiplying by the second. His assistant peeked out, eyes wide. "Sir, Claire's on line 3. Of course she was. He stepped into his glass office, shut the door, and picked up the line. "Claire." "Nathan," she replied cold and crisp. "What have you done?" "I told the truth." "You've humiliated this family," she snapped. "Over what? Some busking kid with a guitar and a dream?" "Sad." "My son," Nathan said. "My son with a guitar and a dream." Silence. Then Claire's voice dropped, sharp like glass. "You're making a mistake." He didn't respond, just hung up. Later that evening, Nathan pulled up to Leo's alley. Leo was already waiting, guitar slung over his back, a new folder of music in his arms. "Thought we could try that bridge again," Leo said, hopeful. Nathan smiled. "I've been practicing." They played, the melody shaky at first, then stronger, then full, until, snap, Leo's string broke. "Oh, man." He grimaced, fiddling with it. Nathan reached into his coat pocket. "Got this," he said, handing over a small velvet pouch. Leo opened it. A fresh set of custom guitar strings. His eyes widened, excited. "These are the real deal." Nathan nodded. "So are you." Leo chuckled, sitting to restring the guitar. As he worked, his hands moved with precision and instinct. Nathan watched. Sad, whispers, "You have my hands." Leo glanced up, thoughtful. "Mom says I have your stubbornness, too." Nathan chuckled. Starts laughing. "Yeah, that checks out." Knew Leo existed. Her jaw tightened. "That's circumstantial." "No," he said calmly. "It's manipulation." Claire crossed her arms. "You were going to give it all away to that boy and her. That boy is my son." The silence crackled. Nathan leaned in. "You lied to Emma. You lied to me. And you buried letters that were never yours to touch." Claire took a step back, face cracking. "I was protecting you," she whispered. "No," he said, voice low. "You were protecting yourself." That night, Nathan stood in front of Emma's apartment door, Leo's drawing in hand. The one from the old letterbox, stick figures holding guitars, captioned, "Someday." Emma opened the door. He held it out. "I'm not asking for yesterday back," he said softly, "but I'd like to earn a few tomorrows." She looked at the drawing, then at him. Finally, she opened the door wider. Inside, Leo sprawled on the floor with his guitar, tuning it. "Hey," he grinned, "you still suck at that bridge." Nathan laughed, sitting beside him. "I'll get it eventually." Leo handed him a second guitar. "Then let's practice." They played. Notes wobbled, laughter interrupted, but the music held. Across town, Claire sat in her office, staring at her frozen accounts. Nathan had removed her as financial trustee. Her phone buzzed. New email, custody filing, re Leo Brooks. She read the name twice. Her hands trembled. The control slipping. And for the first time in years, Claire whispered to herself, "What if I lose everything?" Nathan stood in Emma's modest kitchen, coffee in hand, watching Leo sketch a guitar chord chart on a napkin with laser focus. Emma leaned against the counter, arms crossed, guarded but watching Nathan more closely than the boy. "He's always been like that," she said. "Draws what he hears before he plays it." Nathan smiled. "That's not just talent. That's DNA." Emma didn't smile back. "You didn't show up for his first fever," she said, quiet but firm. "Or his first recital. I had to tell him you were too far away to hear." "I never knew," Nathan said. "I would have." Emma cut in. Don't say what you would have done." That night back in his condo, Nathan sat at his grand piano, untouched for years. A battered shoebox sat beside him. It had arrived from an old storage unit he once owned, one Claire managed while he was overseas. He lifted the lid. Inside, stacks of unopened envelopes, addressed to him in Emma's handwriting. Some had childish drawings inside, stick figures with guitars, sons, and dogs, all signed Leo. Nathan's hands shook as he unfolded one. "I turned 6 today. Mommy says you were in New York. I played the G chord without looking. That's okay."
Letters, that's emotional fraud. Claire's lawyer pushed back hard, but privately, Claire knew her grip was unraveling. She'd hidden the letters because she feared Leo would inherit what she believed was hers. Now, he was real, talented, and loved. Her world was crumbling. Later that week, Leo sat in Emma's living room, strumming absent-mindedly while Nathan watched. Nathan cleared his throat. "I found your letters." Leo looked up, confused. "What letters?" Nathan pulled one from his jacket. Creased, but intact. Leo blinked, reading it. "I wrote this when I was 7? Nathan nodded, voice shaking. I didn't abandon you. I just Never got them. Leo frowned. You mean? Nathan nodded. Claire kept them from me. All of them. Emma looked down, guilt flashing across her face. I should have fought harder, she said. Leo sat silent for a long moment, then handed Nathan his guitar. Play with me? Nathan exhaled deeply. He played the tune, the one Leo played that first day in the alley. Leo joined in. 2 guitars, same melody, different roads. Back in court, Nathan handed the judge the box of letters. Claire, seated nearby, looked pale. This is 10 years of deception, Nathan said. Not by the mother of my child, but by my own sister. Claire's attorney tried to dismiss it. But the judge paused, then asked Claire directly, Did you prevent this correspondence? Claire didn't speak, didn't deny it, didn't need to. The box said it all. Outside the courtroom, Leo tugged on Nathan's coat, excited. You gonna miss your big meeting today? Nathan looked at his watch. Already did. Leo blinked. Why? Nathan smiled. Because you only turned 12 once, and I've missed enough already. He handed Leo a small envelope. Inside, an acceptance letter to the San Francisco School of the Arts. Leo's jaw dropped. Is this real? Nathan grinned. Start in the fall. You'll need new strings, though. Leo looked down at his guitar, strings worn, the bridge chipped. He plucked a note, clear, defiant. Starts laughing. Guess I'd better start practicing. Emma stood watching them from the car. She opened her purse, pulled out the final letter she'd written, but never sent. Inside, a pressed flower from their first date. Her hand trembled. Should she give it to him? Or was it too late? The wind tugged at the edge of the envelope, just enough for Nathan to notice from across the street. He took a step toward her. Would she let him in this time? Or was this just one more note left unsung? Nathan sat alone in the conference room of Brooks Tech, staring at the glowing agenda on his tablet. Global Expansion Strategy. Final sign-off. His team waited just outside the glass wall, all eager, all unaware. His fingers tapped the table, but in his mind he saw Leo under a flickering street lamp, humming that familiar tune. That moment, the music, the tilt of the boy's head, the battered guitar, had rewired something deep inside him. His phone buzzed. A reminder. Leo's entrance interview, 2 p.m., Presidio Arts Academy. Nathan closed his eyes.
You can't buy time back. 20 minutes later, Emma stood outside the school, arms crossed, as Nathan pulled up. You're late, she said flatly. Nathan held up 2 paper cups. I brought peace offerings. Emma took the coffee reluctantly. Leo leaned against a lamppost, strumming. Is he nervous? Nathan asked. Emma raised an eyebrow. He's Leo. He's already planning his first album cover. Nathan chuckled. Leo walked over, eyes wide. I get to play in a real soundproof room? Like, with acoustics and everything? Nathan nodded. And a Steinway. Leo froze. Wait, those real pianos? Only the best, Nathan said softly, for someone brave enough to play in the street. Leo blinked, holding his guitar a little tighter. Inside the music room, Leo perched on the edge of a leather stool. The admissions panel nodded. What will you play? Leo looked at Nathan, then down at his guitar. He whispered, The one I heard in the alley. Nathan smiled. Leo began strumming, his fingers moving with confidence, even though the strings buzzed in places. It wasn't perfect, but it was true. When he finished, there was silence. Then, one judge leaned forward. Where'd you learn that phrasing? Leo shrugged. It's just in me. Another nodded. That's what makes an artist. Afterward, outside the building, Nathan's phone rang again. Victor Lin, board chair. Nathan hesitated, then answered. "Where are you?" Victor barked. "Investors are in the room. You're tanking the whole deal." Nathan looked at Leo, laughing as he pretended to juggle his guitar case. "Then let it tank." "Excuse me?" Nathan's voice grew firm. "I won't build a company that makes me miss this again." He hung up. Emma stared at him. "You just gave up $1 billion merger." Nathan shook his head. "No, I just chose my son over a spreadsheet." That night, they walked through a quiet plaza. Leo handed Nathan a flyer. "Spring Fair Performance, Young Talent Stage, Sunday at 6 p.m. He'd circled his name, handwritten, almost too dark. Nathan studied it. Leo fidgeted. "You don't have to come if you're busy." Nathan bent down. "Leo, I'll be there. Not as a CEO. Not as someone checking in. I'll be there as your dad." Leo blinked hard, then smiled. "Cool. You better clap loud." Back at his penthouse, Nathan placed the flyer beside his old childhood songbook, 2 pieces of paper, 2 versions of him. He looked out the window, city lights twinkling, and saw, maybe for the first time, how little they really mattered. At Claire's apartment, she sat alone, watching the press conference replay. Brooks Tech's merger collapse flashing across the screen. Beside her, an old framed everything she once had. The sun hung low over San Francisco's spring fair, casting a warm golden hue across the booths and music tents. Colorful ribbons fluttered in the breeze, the smell of kettle corn and fresh churros drifting in the air. People milled about, laughing, snapping selfies, lost in the joy of a Saturday that promised something more than fun. It promised hope. Nathan stood just outside the talent stage tent, watching Leo from a distance. The boy was tuning his guitar with the intensity of a concert violinist. His battered case lay open beside him, stickers peeling, strings worn. Nathan reached into his blazer pocket, the stage pass Leo had made for him. "Dad guessed," scribbled in marker, the letters slanted. He ran his thumb across it. "This is real." Emma approached from the side, arms crossed, face unreadable. "You look like you're about to throw up." Nathan smirked. "I've closed deals with Saudi oil kings and slept through IPO pitches, but yeah, I'm terrified." She watched Leo, her expression softening. "He's proud of you, even if he won't say it yet." Nathan looked down. "He doesn't have to." Emma handed him a bottle of water. "You two rehearsed?" Nathan laughed. Starts laughing. "Once, and he told me I was too tense and made me play with my eyes closed." Sounds like him. Nathan looked at her. "Thank you for raising him." Emma's eyes shimmered, sad. Softly. "Don't thank me. Just don't leave again." Backstage, Leo took a deep breath. The curtain rippled in the wind. A man in a headset whispered, "You're on next. Ready?" Leo nodded, then turned to Nathan, excited. "You remember the B part of the bridge, right? You always mess it up." Nathan grinned. "I only fake it half the time." Leo smacked his arm. "Well, don't fake it tonight. We're a team." Nathan knelt down, held Leo's shoulders. "Whatever happens, I'm proud of you. I'm here." Leo hesitated, then whispered, "Thanks, Dad." Nathan didn't flinch. That word, it landed. The announcer's voice boomed. "Up next, we have a special duet, 12-year-old Leo Carter and his dad." A hush fell, then soft applause. The curtain lifted. They stepped out together. Nathan sat at the keyboard. Leo adjusted the mic, then held up his guitar, light catching the dents and scratches, battle scars of alley songs and years no one saw. He glanced at Nathan. Nathan nodded. Leo began to play, the opening chords, raw, unfiltered, his fingers sure. Nathan followed on keys, hesitant at first, then steadier, memory guiding him. Their melody was simple, haunting, the song Nathan wrote as a teen, back when he believed in dreams bigger than profits. But now it was Leo's song. Halfway through, Leo leaned in. Bridge. Emma looked at Nathan. You kept the melody after all these years. Nathan looks down. It never left. Leo tugged Emma's hand. We should write a song, all three of us, like a family song. Emma froze. Her guard flickered. Nathan didn't push. Only if it's in your key. She looked at them and nodded. Hope, a flicker. Later, Nathan tucked the stage pass into his wallet next to an old photo of his father. One son had left the music behind. The other had brought it back. Meanwhile, Claire stood outside the fairgrounds, watching through a vendor tent slit, her face pale. In her hand, a yellow envelope. Inside, Emma's original letters, stained but intact. She clutched them, trembling. Someone tapped her shoulder. It was Victor, Brooks Tech's chairman. I thought you'd want to know, he murmured. Nathan just pulled all funds from the merger account. He's out. Claire stiffened, and Victor added coldly, he's not the only one walking away. Would Claire finally come clean? Or bury the truth one last time? The night after the fair was unusually quiet in San Francisco. Leo's guitar leaned against the couch, strings loosened, worn pick wedged beneath the bridge. Nathan sat beside it, head bowed, scrolling through the dozens of texts and emails from the board. He ignored them all. Across the apartment, Emma wiped down the kitchen counter, glancing at him occasionally. Her eyes held something between gratitude and caution. Leo was fast asleep in his room, still wearing his fair wristband. He'd insisted on sleeping with the stage pass pinned to his shirt like a medal. Nathan spoke without looking up. He said he wants to write more songs, together. Emma didn't reply right away. Then, softly, he's never said that about anyone before. Nathan smiled faintly. It feels like breathing again. Meanwhile, across town, Claire Brooks sat alone. Her penthouse was dim. The only light came from the flickering TV screen, muted news about Brooks Tech's stalled merger deal. She didn't care. In her lap lay the opened yellow envelope. Inside, the letters from Emma, years old, folded and worn, addressed to Nathan but never delivered. One by one, she reread them, each one raw, pleading, hopeful, heartbroken. He deserved to know. But she hadn't let him because she was afraid of being cut out, afraid that if Nathan had a son, everything would change. And it had. The next morning, Emma opened her front door to find Claire standing there, holding the envelope. Emma blinked. What are you? Claire stepped inside, uninvited, set the envelope on the dining table and spoke quickly. These are yours. I never gave them to Nathan. Emma's eyes narrowed. What do you want? Claire swallowed. To tell the truth. I lied. Emma crossed her arms. You think a box of old letters? Check. Use this for Leo's schooling, for whatever you need. I'm stepping down from the board. I just want to do something right. Emma stared at the check, then at the letters. Claire turned to leave, but Emma called after her. Why now? Claire paused in the doorway. Because I watched a father and son on stage last night, and it made me feel like the villain of my own life. And with that, she left. That evening, Nathan found Emma sitting on the balcony, envelope open in her lap. She handed him the stack of letters, eyes unreadable. She wrote every month, she whispered, and Claire kept them all. Nathan took the letters, hands trembling. The first one was dated 2 weeks after the divorce. The words bled with hope and pain and love. Nathan, I don't know if you'll read this, but Leo asks about you when he draws. He plays your lullaby on his toy piano. He hums it in his sleep. By the third letter, Nathan was crying. She stole everything from me. My years with him. Emma put a hand on his. But you have him now. Later that night, Nathan sat beside Leo's bed. The boy stirred. Dad? Yeah, it's me. Leo turned, eyes still heavy with sleep. Why are you crying? Nathan smiled through tears. Just catching up. Leo yawned. Did you see the drawing I left you? Nathan looked at the side table. A simple sketch. Leo, Emma, and Nathan, under a tree. In the boy's messy writing, our band. Nathan picked it up gently. This is the most important thing I've ever been given. Leo grinned. Wait till you see the next one. It's us playing at Carnegie Hall. Nathan chuckled. Dream big, buddy. The next morning, a package arrived at Emma's doorstep. No name, just a wax seal with the Brooks family crest. Inside were legal documents. Nathan had rewritten his will. Leo was now his heir. But someone else had also received the news. Victor, furious, betrayed, and he wasn't going down quietly. The street fair pulsed with life, balloons bobbing in the breeze, cinnamon sugar wafting through the air, and laughter echoing through sunlit stalls. Nathan stood just off stage, fingers twitching with nerves. Leo was already tuning up, his small hands nimble, eyes focused. That same battered guitar, now repaired, but still carrying every scratch of its history. "Dad," he grinned, "check this out." He held up the new strap Emma had sewn last night. In blue thread, one word, family. Nathan's throat tightened. It's perfect. Emma stood near the edge of the crowd, arms crossed over her chest, a protective reflex she hadn't yet let go of. But she was smiling, and that alone made Nathan believe again. He took a breath, walked on stage. Leo leaned into the mic. So, this is a new one. My dad helped me write it." Murmurs rippled through the crowd. Nathan cleared his throat. It's about second chances and people who show up when it matters. Weeks ago. As they played, something shifted. People stopped, listened, and Emma, she cried. Not out of pain, but release. Years of silence melted into that music. 12 Christmases missed. First steps, school projects, broken hearts mended, one chord at a time. When the song ended, the crowd erupted, but Leo didn't care about applause. He turned to Nathan, eyes glowing. Excited. "Did we nail it?" Nathan pulled him into a hug. "You owned it." Later that evening, under strings of fair lights, the three of them sat by the fountain. Leo munched on kettle corn, his guitar beside him. Emma finally spoke. "You did good today, both of you." Nathan looked at her. "I wish I could undo what I missed." "You can't," she said. "But you showed up." Silence settled between them, comfortable this time. Leo suddenly pointed across the fair, excited. "They've got a booth where you can paint your own record cover." Emma raised an eyebrow. "We don't even have a record deal." Leo shrugged. "Yet?" Nathan stood, brushing popcorn crumbs off his jacket. "Lead the way, rock star." As Leo ran ahead, Emma lingered behind. "Hey," she called gently. Nathan turned. She smiled, soft, uncertain. "You're doing better than I expected." He smiled back. "So are you." Later that night, in a quiet room above the fairgrounds, where volunteers had gathered their gear, Nathan opened his briefcase, not to review contracts or merger clauses, but to place something inside. Leo's first sketch of them playing on stage, drawn on napkin paper, signed Leo Brooks. He folded it carefully, pressed it flat, then closed the case, not for business, but legacy. Back on the fair stage, just before teardown, Leo sat alone, playing a soft melody by himself. Nathan approached with 2 mugs of cocoa. Leo looked up. "Hot chocolate at a rock show?" Nathan grinned. "It's a Brooks family tradition. Just took me a while to pass it on." Leo nodded, eyes twinkling. "I'm glad you didn't give up." Nathan sat beside him, placing an arm around his shoulders. "Me too." They strummed together, no microphones, no audience, just father and son, making music in the glow of second chances. But from the shadows of the fair, Victor watched, arms crossed, plans forming. Redemption had a price, and he wasn't done collecting.